Hello, hello, my friends. Welcome to the Sunshine Study. It's joyous to be with you. Thank you for your company. Book review day. What's your dream? I love this book so much. Let me tell you about it. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Rebecca, the Lifejoy coach and author, and I have written 5 books about joy, courage, hope, and resilience. This is the Sunshine Study, and I love sunflowers because they are tall, they are golden, they seek the light, and when the storms come, they hold one another together. That's what we're trying to do here, and I offer one-to-one Lifejoy coaching and counselling with burned out clients who want to find some balance and some hope in life. And by the end of our sessions, I always try and leave them feeling better, more empowered, more themselves, remembering their own goodness. And it is a joy and a privilege to watch people thrive. So one of my great tools is to keep reading and keep learning. This is mega. I loved it. So let me tell you. You may see that I put in quite a lot of post-it notes. That's because the pages where those post-it notes are were so profoundly wise, helpful, insightful. Then there are other pages where I've turned the corners down, which is probably a naughty thing to do, but I love a book, and I love hardback books as well. Is that there was so much that was good in this book that I didn't have enough room to make notes in the book jacket. So what I decided to do instead is come in my lovely notebook with the gold leaf and the ribbon and take notes and talk to you about the best parts of this book. And really, ultimately, I would urge you very strongly to go and read this book, but also to listen to the points that I've made and to see if you like them as well. And did you agree? Now, what I must say about What's Your Dream is that it is a manual on how to run a business, how to start a business, how to be self-employed. So if you're just wondering about a career change and evolution, get this. Listen to my notes, make your own. Now, I first came across Simon Squibb when I saw him interviewed about his life on television. And he has an Instagram account, and he walks up to people in the street and says, "What's your dream?" And lots of people know. And sometimes he says things like, "I'll give you £1,000 to help you start your business." It's joyous. But the bit that's really astonishing is lots of people know what their dream is, but they're not doing anything about it. And he is part of helping make that happen. So I wish I'd had this when I started being self-employed. And the reality is that he has known struggle, but he's also known great success. And this is a template on how to live, I think, your best career life, but also your best life in general. And that's what we all want to do. I spend so much of my one-to-one work with my clients trying to make their thinking wise, their living wise, and their loving joyous. And this is an important way to think about it. Can we be wise and joyous, giving and brave all at the same time? So here are my thoughts about what's your dream. What do you really like doing? Now that's almost on the first page, and I love this concept. Think about doing what you love. Now you've already got a head start. Now I've had several creative friends who tried to have creative businesses and then completely fell out of love of doing the creative thing because actually they didn't do that very much. They ran the business most of the time. And ironically, I have contact time with clients, but I spend a lot of time doing prep for clients, prep afterwards, email lists, social media marketing. There's a lot of work that isn't one-to-one contact, which is the part that I really, really love, but that enabling it. So there is a reality if you do need to know what you love doing. And he talks about a dream has immense power in it, and it grows out of personal experience. You want to put something right in the world, a difference you want to make. Then you have to understand the market you're going into, understand the business, and the customer that you're serving. And in that paragraph, there's just about everything you need to know about having a business. It really is. But there's also the part that you're going to have to work hard and do a lot more than you thought, learn a lot more, and have some setbacks. And he talks a lot about hobbies being your business, and that you can link these to helping somebody. Now, ironically, all of the work that I do now and have done for the last 15 years has been about helping people with the problems that I had when there was very little help. I want there to be loving purpose in my life and work that counteracts the immense adversity that illness has dropped on me. So if you think about what's your loving purpose in the world, that helps you get to your dream. And he says you need to know who your customer is. He talks about really mechanical things about how to run a business. He says, ask for the money up front or pay half in advance. Join others on big audiences to grow your audience. Be persistent through tough times, and success needs resilience. You need to plan the end and start again. So throughout this book, there's the issue of how you run a business and what you do, but also the realities of the mechanisms. So the thing that I loved most was that he had started as a teenager. I think he said he was 15, and had found himself homeless. And he's very magnanimous about the circumstances. He takes responsibility, and he then starts a gardening business when he saw some nice houses with raggy gardens. And he knocked on the door and he said, "I'll tidy up your garden." And then he was really clever enough to say, "I'll do it for this much a month." So it generated more business, it was regular, and he set a fee. Then he didn't really have any tools, so he borrowed them from the people, and then he borrowed them to do the next job, and then he built up his tools. But all that started from the adversity of being homeless, needing to earn some money. He couldn't get a job, but that he had the courage to knock on a door. A huge amount of being self-employed is knocking on many, many metaphoric doors, windows, trying and coping with that rejection, because there's thousands of micro rejections all the time. But he does it with such a warmth and such a wit. So this is my hardback version, but also each chapter has a beautiful title. 3 questions, grow rich, 7 steps, why purpose matters, the myths about life. So it's beautifully sensible, it's profound, it's helpful, but it's also humane. And, he knows that life is difficult and there are hurdles. So when he walks up to people on Instagram, people are a bit startled, but they always want to talk. And he runs a thing called Help Bank. And there's a lovely story about him buying this odd building, which is a sort of staircase. And there's a phone outside, and you can ring and ask for help with your business. So go and look up their website, because it's remarkable, because he wants to give back. So if you're self-employed, you're thinking about doing it, you're thinking about growing or changing or diversifying, or just doing something in your own career, I would read the book, but I would also listen to his YouTube, because he has a 2-hour seminar about how to be self-employed, and it's remarkable. And if you give yourself the 2 hours, it is the best preparation. I've helped many people start their businesses, very micro businesses, one-person bands, but yet they've prospered. And they've prospered because of the lessons in books like this and people guiding us. And the great lesson of persistence is persist and learn the lessons. Give something enough time, enough chances, but also know that you can retract and try something different. Don't take huge risks. I think the only thing that I differ with Simon Squibb is about risk. He's very happy to take big risks and start all over again. I'm much more risk averse because of illness. But if you're fit and well and strong, you have a bigger capacity for risk, but you must know what your own capacity is. So I hope you've enjoyed this, my friend. I absolutely loved it. The texture of the book, the paper, the tone, it is utterly delightful, and I loved it. But what I really loved was the manner with which it was written. It was written from somebody who's done a lot, seen a lot, struggled a lot, but he also tells you about things that go wrong in his business, and it makes you more comfortable with the realism that it's 3 steps forward, 4 back, 5 steps forward, 2 back, but that you can keep going and do well, and that there might be another business in you, or that businesses have lifespans or eras in them. So it was very inspiring, it was very reassuring, and if you listen to him interviewed, he's utterly delightful. And if you know Simon Squibb, tell him to get in touch, tell him I loved his book, and I am trying to do what he said. And I wish you well with your dreams, whatever they are, however small, however mighty, however grand, however glorious. have a loving purpose in them all. So take care, my friend. It's never too late. Might just start it today. Good luck. God bless. It's been a joy to be with you. Please like, subscribe, comment and share. I'm Dr. Rebecca, the Lifejoy coach and author, and this has been one of our Joyous book reviews. Take care. God bless. Be safe.